And welcome to Speed Gaming 3, as we are now getting started with another race as part of the Link to the Past Randomizer main tourney. This is part of the second round. Both of our runners tonight, GFE and Buane, worked through their first round matchups and have decided to kick off some second round stuff tonight. My name is Radical Sniper 99, and tonight I'm joined by Drosy. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm excited for this race. Two really great runners. What are you thinking about it?
I am super excited for this one. Just to kind of give everybody an idea of how we got here, GFE took down TJ Maelstrom in round 1 2-0, while Buane took down Dazed Cloud 2-0. So, two really experienced runners here, and we're just getting started with game 1. And our runners will be off momentarily.
Yeah, and what's impressive is this is actually GFE's first time in main tournament brackets. I couldn't believe it, but he just barely didn't make it out of groups in the last two main tournaments. But since then, he managed to be a semi-finalist at SpeedGaming Live, so he does certainly have a good recent track record.
Yeah, and I can say, just looking at GFE's group stage, just a little bit there, I know he was definitely in danger of not getting out of the groups this time. Had a tough start for sure.
And meanwhile, Buane has the distinction of, in the last two tournaments, the person who knocked him out was the eventual champion. So if you beat Buane, you will win the tournament.
With how deep with how deep this tournament is, I feel like there is a definitive possibility of that happening to so many people right now. I don't know how much racing everybody's been watching, but these races have truly been, top caliber runners across the board. Any of the 128 or even the 64 now who entered group or brackets really have a chance here.
And Uncle has left quite a fortune to us. Good nest egg to start with.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot we can do with it for a bit, but much appreciated to start with that money. So, and we are off though with this hard standard seed. Standard meaning we are going through escape. We're going to get some random weapon from the uncle. And then the hard mode, of course, refers to the hard item pool. A little less hearts, down to 14, no armor upgrades, tempered sword max, no silver arrows, no mirror shield. Who cares, right? Easy stuff.
And it's a sword start, which is exactly... I was in the race chat room with the players while they were setting up, and exactly what GFE didn't want to see, and there's the bloomerang, because Buane is one of the top NMG players out there. He is, in fact, the 6th fastest in the world, and one of only 7 who can do a sub 124. So, with Sword being the NMG start, this is something Buane is very used to, and something that GFE was very worried about.
And can I just say how, it's one thing to have a sword, but the fact that our first chest after that was blue boomerang means this is pure NMG. Like, not even slight variation.
Well, the bloomerang was slightly early.
So, Frenchish vanilla?
Sure. I mean, by the time they get past the next chest, then they'd have the boomerang anyway, right?
So we did already see, though, the stun prize from GFE does not give us bombs. And I believe we also saw the guard pack was the full magic to start. So I don't think we're going to see bombs out of the guards or the snakes.
Yeah, because the 3 possible starts for the packs that have bombs are heart, small magic, and bomb itself. But with that sword, it'll be easy enough for the runners to start slicing rats when they get to the sewers, and maybe that pack will have a bomb.
Here's hoping, and we still have 2 chests left, and we know that they're both items at this point, given we did find that map in the boomerang chest.
Buane just slashing away at that ball and chain guard. That you can see like how he's just nailed the NMG strats.
Yeah, I usually talk to a lot of NMG.
Is this even randomized?
I don't even have words for the start of this seed. Give us a shield, please. Why not?
What did I roll them?
I mean, honestly, when you start a seed and you get a sword, I definitely kind of agree with the reaction of just like, this is a baby start in a sense. You know, this is probably one of the probably the easiest item to start with. Maybe besides a hammer or...
At the same time, I'm thinking if anything, the lamp might slightly benefit GFE just because both of these runners are really skilled at dark rooms, but given how insane Buane's execution is, I feel like the margin for him between dark and lamp is less than GFE's margin between dark and lamp.
Yeah, I could definitely see that argument. I've also, you know, not to say anything ill of either of these runners because they are both amazing, but you know, there's also, you kind of get used to a certain set of equipment for your NMG runs. So, you know, how much easier is it to have the NMG equipment at all times? So some variation isn't a bad thing.
Clearly, they need to go straight to Eastern after this and make a play for the bow. I'm honestly wondering if one or both of them will do that because a lot of the more advanced players have been adopting a meta of not going immediately to CAC after finishing Escape.
Yeah, it's been one of the more interesting pieces of this tournament is just watching how much almost the safe meta we're used to in Rando is kind of just, we're getting that divergence now these days, just because you have to find that little bit that you can kind of capitalize on.
Speaking of divergence, we might get divergence here because Buane is not getting the drops, and I believe that is the prize pack that starts with a small magic, and you have to get the 6th item in it to get the bomb. So yeah, Buane is going right past, and we'll see if GFE can get these rats to drop anything. I don't think so. Oh, there we go!
Wow. Perseverance paying off for GFE there. Getting that bomb, and we're going to see what those 3 items are.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what makes me more excited, a flute or a 10 bomb pack right now.
Yeah, bombs beget more bombs, and Buane gives us a map check. That was a green pendant on Desert, a red pendant on Hera, and a regular crystal on Eastern.
But yeah, that flute, you know, that's a big prize, a lot of mobility early. I wouldn't be surprised to see GFE make a quick run towards Agahnim with that. And if that has something, we don't know when we might see Buane go back for it. So we're going to really hope for that glove, so Buane does not miss that for a little while.
The irony, of course, would be if glove is on Agahnim. But I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, because I'm sure GFE will work his way through Kakariko and activate that flute as he gets down to the Weather Vane.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about the divergence right after the escape sequence. I'm surprised Buane didn't consider maybe, you know, saving and quitting and actually going south into Kakariko even as kind of an alternate strat. But I guess we're going to see Buane attack Kakariko from the north, so we might see...
he's going to buy bomb first.
Or at least check the bottle vendor. Unfortunately, nothing there. Just that heart piece. So, gonna check those easy checks, hoping to find bombs before having to buy them at least.
And he does. Yeah, because every other check is at least partially bomb locked, so makes sense that he'd try the 2 that aren't.
Yeah, and a lot of runners might tell you, oh, if you get no bombs before you enter Kakariko, and you want to gamble, Blind Sut or the well, usually people say to gamble the well first. It's a little bit quicker to get back to.
Hey, it's looking like Stackerico already with that mirror showing up. And half magic. And Fire Rod.
So I guess we're going to get an early crystal clear with that, at least for GFE. With that flute, mirror, fire rod, or lamp, really, Hera is completely open and clearable.
That's a pendant, though.
Oh, right.
Oh, and there's the book, so I guess Desert is starting to get open, too.
So we just want to dive all the pendant dungeons, right?
Vanilla Glove, anyone at this point? Yeah, I don't even know how you route the seed. It would not at all surprise me if one or both of these runners ditch South Shore for the time being.
I think I personally would still go South Shore just because I don't like the idea of clearing or going to either of the pendants first. And there's not a lot incentivizing that Death Mountain play.
Yeah, we don't... Oh, go ahead.
Pretty much what I think you were about to say is, we can get into Hera, that's 2 items. We can get the 2 items with Spectacle Rock, we can get the Old Man, and the Knowledge of Ether Tablet, but that's not really anything too big. Maybe you get a hook shot or a hammer before you go.
Yeah, and both of our runners are GFV's in the chicken hut, but Buane will give us our first sick kid check, who he boomerangs to the head. Oh, there's the hammer. Okay, Death Mountain in play.
Yep. That is the incentive. There's enough.
I mean, this is seriously the most stacked Stackerico I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, this is a great start for any seed.
And GFE doesn't even... Buane doesn't even know about the flute.
Yeah, and luckily, maybe not luckily, but not being able to go up to those Death Mountain checks, hopefully kind of, we'll see that glove soon to go back.
Yeah, of course, Buane can go back anytime through the front, but that's a bit time-consuming.
It's funny, I've heard that mentioned so many times, and I think the only time you ever see it is when it's an Aga seed, almost.
I mean, what it really hurts is when there is a glove in the back of Escape.
Yes.
And Buane's probably assuming that GFE was able to farm the bomb, because you always... When you see that prize pack, you always assume your opponent was able to do it.
Now, it's very interesting. If GFE had decided to go South Shore and Buane pulls the Master Sword out of the dam...
Aga Care package, anyone?
Yeah, we are building that. If we had Moon Pearl, maybe somebody gambles it. But GFE and Buane would have pretty much arrived at the dam almost the same time. And never mind, we've got 3 swords.
Okay, someone left a lot of swords lying around the dam.
We've got 2 amazing runners here, and you think maybe we'll see some low percent strats? Nope, we're getting all the equipment early.
Which would normally be in Buane's favor just because of his execution, but there's that flute.
And that's both of our items out of Desert Palace, but we are boots locked.
Well, I don't think either of our runners are going to be in a hurry to pull the green pendant.
Yeah, I wonder if that was GFE's idea on this one, was just kind of, maybe I can get that green pendant before going into Eastern area, visiting Saha, get an extra item out of it. Because it's definitely a surprising play to have gone for a pendant dungeon so quick.
I guess he figured might as well with that flute in the early book. I don't know. I probably would have done the Death Mountain play first if South Shore isn't the first thing on your mind. Hey, and we get a male upgrade there in Agina's cave. And for those of you just tuning into the tournament, yes, those green 20s, this is the hard item pool, so all male upgrades have been removed. The fourth sword's been removed, mirror shield, and 8 pieces of heart and 4 heart containers. And they all turn into green 20s, so that you know that you're picking up a removed item.
Yeah, and just to be clear on that, they only become green 20s after you've reached the maximum as well. So in this case, the 4 swords are placed. It's just now that that 4th one will become a green 20.
So we'll never actually know where the 4th sword is because both of these runners will just see it as a green 20. And hey, French vanilla boots.
I wonder if we're going to see an additional play towards deserts, or never mind.
Wow. That's right, he doesn't have the flute.
I'm still kind of surprised by this move. I figured Buane might have checked out Eastern Palace, but I guess, you know, without a bow, really not feeling that play to even check Sahasrahla right now. Or even Bonk Rocks. Like, this is definitely a bit surprising.
Okay, so Buane's actually going for the back of escape. He's not doing Aga. So going the long way, but I guess he figures with the boots it's not as long. Of course, that also means that Buane's now going to be the one with the edge, unless GFE flutes to 5 in a hurry after this.
And I could see GFE probably heading for that mountain first.
You were right. But yeah, the boots disparity is always something that can help one runner very slowly but surely build a lead over the other. So the longer it takes GFE to get the boots, the more of a lead Buane can build.
Yeah, and GFE definitely will get over to Sahasrahla eventually. It's really just a question of when at this point. Just has to be a little bit careful, down to 1 heart. Dancing with the old man.
Hey, neither of them checked Lumberjack yet, but we're probably going to see that from Buane, right?
It appears we are. This is definitely the time you usually see that check.
Just some money, so if we can find a glove and a moon pearl, this will not be an Agaseed.
Here's hoping.
And Buane's gonna go activate that flute. We're also collecting bottles at a pretty good clip. What was that? The single arrow?
I wasn't entirely sure, to be honest, but
Oh, Buane, GFE's going for it.
so it's something. Definitely missed the top of that. A lot of the chat saying shovel. I don't know.
It is shovel.
Yeah. As GFE is going for this bomb jump across the gap.
Oh, looked like he was okay. Yeah, looks like he's positioned well. There we go.
Nicely done on that one. Yeah, you pretty much almost like slightly clip yourself into that wall to get, you know, just the extra little distance to be able to push yourself that far down.
And we get our Dark World check.
I saw a Pendant at Pod and I believe that was a red crystal down at Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and Meyer had the other. Hey, health is not a bad thing when you're at 5 hearts green mail going to 6.
Yeah. Early health, any health right now is good. Although with that Tempered Sword, you definitely have a bit of confidence on your side for most of these, or a lot of early bosses. Even a Mothula fight right now wouldn't be too bad.
So Buane also sees that shovel and comes around for it. Hey, and that's a nice relief in Hera when you get the first item in the map chest, so you know you're only looking for one more. The odds are good you won't have to take a coffee break.
As Buane also sets up for that bomb jump. Also very nicely done there.
Chat pointing out at the rate this seed's going, we could have a vanilla moon pearl.
Sure. We're about to see it. We have had a preponderance of near vanilla items. Oh, and there we get the small key.
And GFE's not going to risk the bomb jump. He's going to come around for that big chest the way the game intended you to.
Yeah, if we had boots, you could set up for the easier, safe bonk bomb jump.
Okay, so now we're at 50-50. If Moldorm has the compass, that second item is in the coffee break chest.
Yeah, and given that, you know, GFE had pretty much gambled on coming in here, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go for that full clear of the basement if it's not on Moldorm.
I hope for all our sakes it's on Moldorm.
Yeah, nobody likes that top room.
Bit surprising Buane death warped out of the basement rather than using the mirror. Oh, and it's fast tile room.
And Buane is not going for the Moldorm kill, instead heading over to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, so does GFE gamble the basement? He does.
Yeah, we did see Floating Island, nothing there, but we're about to get Spiral Cave, and luckily for Buane, having those boots, gonna feel a lot better than, unfortunately, GFE is, because Spiral Cave without boots, nobody enjoys it.
Especially without boots and without hookshot.
Yeah, the walk of shame.
Oh, but that's a fairly important item as we get our first glove.
So our boots were in Sahasrah's closet. So GFE had an early flute out of the back of Escape, being able to get the bomb prize out of the variety pack. And Buane did not. So Buane went over to Eastern area, got those boots, and decided to just go straight for Escape afterwards.
And unfortunately for GFE, that was just some more money in the basement. So Buane now has a bit of a lead here. Of course, the seed is far from determined. We just picked up Bombos in Paradox Cave. I think that was the only thing of use we got in the whole cave, though.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, you know, given what we saw for our Pendant Crystal layout, that when they do reach having access to Skull Woods, I wouldn't be surprised to see at least GFE do a ped check just to see if maybe that Paraplate will have some value later.
Oh, Buane's running back, so looks like he is doing more of Hera.
Maybe a Hera into... I was about to say into Spike, but unfortunately we don't have nearly enough health or anything in those bottles to really help us.
Yeah, so this should even things up a bit. And then what do we have left in logic? We have Eastern except for Armos Knights. We have Green Pendant turn. We have Zora, and that's about it, right?
Yes. Those are definitely all the things we have left. I think for Buane, I think we're gonna see the desert play for sure, and I gotta guess for GFE we're gonna see the eastern area play. And I would guess that GFE will head into eastern, given there are at least 2 items he'll be able to find there, and even with the boots, I think the 1 item in Desert Palace is not alluring enough.
Okay, so GFE, I guess, is walking out just so he can flute?
Yeah, we have a lot of money right now. Early rupees has been really nice, so if you need a potion or really anything... Oh, shovel.
Right, we did get that in Spectacle Rock Cave. There's never anything useful in there. I completely forget that it exists at this point. So by extension, the shovel must be worthless, right?
I love to believe that enthusiasm, but I've seen it happen too frequently. That's value.
Yes, that is. Okay, there's GFE's flute to 5, finally.
I think the only thing you kind of have to feel is you almost feel sorry because both runners unable to get to do a Hera pot for Tower of Hera, and I don't blame missing it.
Though, since they're both checking the basement anyway, it's not a horrible thing that they couldn't Hera pot. And GFE is just gonna be like, now you give me the boots.
I mean, personally, if I pull boots and hookshot back to back like that, I'm especially pissed off I did Hera. But here we go. This is going to be that Eastern play for GFE.
Yeah. And Buane's about to dig up his hook shot.
And really, at this point, you know, for all the time that Buane had those boots, GFE is routing and having an early flute and kind of just single dipping Hera, or, you know, staying in Hera initially, has left this pretty even.
Yeah, so Buane's now going to be in desert. We'll see if he finishes it off and gets that green pendant.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't. You know, the only other things he has left besides that Zora check are, of course, the items in Eastern Palace. So I don't think there's anything that's going to pull him out of going for the clear.
This seed! Is this going to be a Moon Pearl Go mode seed?
If we can keep our runners at roughly, you know, somewhere less than 8 hearts, I will gladly endorse the execution show that these two will put on display.
So what do we need at this point? We need Samaria, we need a bow, we need Titan's Mitts, we need the Moon Pearl clearly, and Ice Rod, and may or may not need more medallions. So still got a few items, it just feels like we've gotten so many.
Yeah, and there's at least some that will keep us, you know, having to wait quite a bit. Ice Rod is always going to be one of those items. The medallions at this point could also be equally troubling.
By the way, Flipper's the only item we've found in Eastern so far, so Vanilla Binky Chest and Armos Knights both have items.
I saw that compass. I don't remember seeing the map, to be honest. I did miss that first chest in the cannonball room.
Oh, well, there was Quake, so we now have 2 out of 3 medallions.
I think at this point, I think GFE is going to do flipper checks just because that gives us Hobo, Fairy, Zora Fairy, and then Zora and Zora Ledge. So that's 5 really good items. Oh, and of course, Bonk Rocks for GFE.
And we haven't done a prediction yet, but given how this seed's been handing stuff out to us, let's do one on whether this green pendant's gonna get us anything when we turn it in.
I believe that was a 2-cycle land molus from Buane. Unfortunately, that one land mode did get away from that fire rod shot, but he does pick up that green pendant, so we're probably going to see that turn in as well as the eastern dive over on Buane's side.
And GFE is probably fluting to 8. Yep, time for the flippers checks.
Now, if you're doing Hobo first, is that actually...
GFE, you didn't need to fake flipper, you have the real flippers.
Yeah, let's say, I thought it was going to be quicker if GFE fluted to 4 to jump into the water, but it appears he forgot he had flippers on hand.
Sorry, what were you starting to say before GFE did that?
I was going to ask why flute to 8 when you can flute to 4.
Oh.
I would have figured 4 was closer to Hobo, but I guess if you forget you got flippers, then that's what you do.
So probably swing by Lake Hylia Island. We do have that mirror, so as soon as we get the Moon Pearl, we can grab whatever might be on Lake Hylia Island, but do we want to? Oh, and looks like Buane is charging a water walk here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
And there was nothing on Lake Hylia Island.
Buane's probably going to feel a little silly when he gets the flippers. Oh!
There's Dark World. We've got it.
And, oh, that's pretty nice of the fairy, red goo. And at this rate, that mushroom turn-in's probably going to be something, right?
I probably would do a save and quit first, just in case, or set up the save scum on it, probably.
Even without Samaria. And our runners are converging here. They are both about to waste 500 rupees.
I feel like you know this is going to be nothing. And with how loaded Light World has been, it probably is nothing, but...
Very expensive blueberries.
Yep. It was nothing.
Buane's actually running out and has the flute ready.
Yeah, this is going to be a run back to Hobo and check Lake Hylia Island.
Oh, and GFE's doing what you were suggesting and save scumming the mushroom.
Yeah, it'll be really annoying to do a fake powder, even given that we have half magic and no cane yet, but... You know,
he
sometimes...
didn't want a shield?
I know. I feel you. Fire Shield is like the greatest thing ever. Eventually.
Of course, it's still entirely possible that we wind up with a fire shield because there is no mirror shield. There are still 2 other shields out there.
Now, I could have missed this, but did Buane ever turn in that green pendant?
No. He'll probably combine it with Pod. And, oh, but Pod is a pendant.
Yeah, pendant pod without a bow. I just don't know if you gamble that.
I mean, he'll have to go over there at some point to get the flippers in Eastern, because swamp is a crystal, so we know that the flippers are hard required.
And yes, we had a terrible, terrible type cave. But I do like this play from GFE. We're about to get Swamp Palace. Given that GFE does have all the tools to finish this dungeon, this is a good play. It's also one of our 5/6 crystals.
Not every day you see swamp as the first crystal, but yeah, the 3 crystals we have accessible at the moment are swamp, skullwoods, and thieves, and well, if you're in the neighborhood here, why not?
Yeah, I do like the play. After this, of course, head up towards Cave 45, Dig Game, and Stumpy. And maybe between all these checks, we find our Titan's Myths, and I'm guessing a Bombos tablet check, actually.
Hey, and Buane's about to do catfish, and maybe route in mushroom with it. Nope, skipping mushroom.
And at this point, Buane knows that those flippers are either... I didn't think Titan's Myths would have been the first check, but sure. I appreciate the availability of Titan's Myths.
I assumed catfish was worthless. I was so busy choking over Titan's Myths.
Yeah, I didn't notice either, unfortunately.
Oh, it was a piece of heart.
But yeah, for Point at this point, he knows that those flippers are either on Green Pendant or in Eastern. So in his mind, you know, he knows where those are. So he'll wait, I guess, at this point. But those flippers are very important.
So we now have 4 crystals available. We're definitely going to need some Mario, we're definitely going to need a bow, and that pesky Trinex requires Ice Rod. And the only real question is, do we still need Ether?
And I don't know how soon we're actually going to go to the Mire area, because really for GFE, this is a... I feel like this is, you know, just route your way up to Village kind of situation where you just do those checks one after the other and work your way up to your next 2 crystals.
Okay, Graveyard Ledge is vanilla. That map means there's at least 1 item left side. We haven't seen the compass, have we?
I missed the bottom room. But I do wonder if in GFE's shoes right now, just because you know, you've found so much that you kind of just don't worry about left side and maybe just last locate there.
Hey, we're getting a bumper ledge check from Buane. That's junk. And we are going to see the first crystal of the game come from Argus. How often do you see that?
It happens, I just can't name the last time I've seen it.
Oh, GFE having a bit of trouble not getting the quick kill there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, missing that fire rod shot and then just switching over to spins.
Hey, there's our Arrow of Destiny.
And Buane is going to be not too far behind with his first crystal, heading for Mothula now. And with that Tempered Sword, half magic, and fire rod, I think that's a pretty comfy fight.
And GFE going back in. I'm pretty sure we have not seen the big key, so that could even be locking itself. I just don't remember if we saw compass. here goes Buane into the Moth. Tempered Sword, plenty of magic, should be easy for him. Wow, that was even faster than I thought possible.
Yeah, that was a very cooperative Moth, as well as one of our items for this dungeon. And Buane has that mirror out, so I think we're going to get a ped check. So if you were hoping for a pedestal seed, we're about to find out really soon. Oh, right, under the bridge first. I'll be honest, this is definitely an item I have left behind by accident.
Yeah, and honestly, when you have the mirror, a lot of runners would do that before Moth. But yeah, time for your ped hype. Of course it's couch cash. It's always couch cash.
I mean, I don't know if we have enough rupees. I just don't know. Is 700 enough after paying off Zora?
And if we're really lucky, we won't even have to pay Kiki.
And that's it. Heart piece on left side swamp, so mitts are the big prize there, but that's it.
Guess we hadn't seen the compass then. We're getting a Bombos check, though, from GFE. Kind of interesting that he'd do it now and not route it in with Smith Chain, but I guess he is here.
I actually kind of like this as a almost more express way, because you could then flute to turn in purple chest instead of having to do the walk with the purple chest.
Oh, and we are getting our first look at Meyer. And hey, Buane found that shield that he didn't get off the mushroom.
And our Meyer medallion is going to be checked later.
Now that was a nice find. That bow opens up the rest of Eastern, Armos Knights, though it also opens up Pod.
And we do need our...
Okay, so Ice Rod, Ether, and Samaria. And wouldn't it be funny if one of them's on green pendant?
Yeah, and as chat's pointing out, this means that unless we can find that other bow somewhere outside of locations locked by the mitts, then it is very possible that Buane will not find those flippers and thus not mitts and the bow for a little while.
Now this is interesting that GFE would do Pendant Pod when there are crystal dungeons he could be doing.
Yeah, this is a very surprising play from GFE.
Skullwoods, Thieves Town, and Ice are all fully in logic. I mean, I know Pod has 5 items, which is more than any of those other dungeons, but still.
I mean, I could see maybe having opened Pod and then just mirroring over to finish off that last item in Eastern Palace, but yeah, this one's a definite surprise play.
Especially since there are so few items in the front of Pod, so you really have to commit quite a bit of time before you start turning up items in any number.
Yeah, I feel like doing the play over to Thieves and Skull and maybe even ending up at Ice would be it's a more conservative move, but I'm surprised, so.
Yeah, and with Boots and a mirror, you can route in Smith Chain and everything. Hey, simultaneous heart container grabs. Woohoo!
Yeah, as GFE does get onto that second row of hearts now. Really, I don't think we've seen anything out of Thieves Town, so maybe the stay away is going to work out for GFE at this point.
I really hope GFE didn't mismark his tracker and thinks he's getting a crystal.
And we have seen that, unfortunately, in this tournament.
Yes, we saw someone full clear swamp in the group stage because they thought it was a crystal, and it was a pendant. No, his tracker's marked correctly, I just checked. So, yeah, I don't know if he's trying to galaxy brain this because he thinks Buane will never come here. But he doesn't know that those mitts alone could potentially open up a lead for him. That cape does give us Spike Cave. We know Bumper Ledge isn't anything. Oh, no!
The Galaxy Brain! It pays off!
Okay, no Ice Rod hunt for GFE today. As Buane grabs his second crystal at the 45-minute mark.
Yes, and as Chad is pointing out, you know, how many times do we hear that Pendant Pod is always going to have something? And, you know, I have a tough time disagreeing since it worked out so nicely, but wow.
I think Helma King does have an item, unless I miscounted, but GFE not going for it.
In terms of Go mode, by the way, we are still short an Ether Medallion as well as Cane of Samaria. The entry to at least Misery Mire is that Ether Medallion.
By the way, I just wanted to give a shout out to our tracker, the amazing Artaro, keeping up with the ridiculous pace of items turning up in the seed.
GFE going through that Stalfos room. Unfortunately, I think that was a misdirect shot of the hook shot, so had to take out all 4 of our Stalfos buddies.
Buane giving us our first look at Cave 45, which is a pile of sticks, and presumably Stumpy here too.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen anything out of Skull or Thieves Town. Like, those 2 plays, which I think both of us thought were the right ones, have just not paid out.
Buane's going to be pushed over to Pod and Eastern soon enough because he's starting to run out of stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, if we're looking for something to really put Buane back into this, I think you're hoping that Green Pendant has something.
Yeah, though, obviously, purely based on execution, I would never count Buane out.
If somebody can find out how to fake Flipper Swamp Palace someday or completely do it flipperless, let me know. I'd love to hear how it works.
And then there will be a huge commotion with Racing Council.
Yes, there will. In terms of, you know, asking how we got here or what's going on, Flippers are in Eastern Palace, Mitts are in Swamp Palace, Bo is in Mire Shed with Ice Rod in Pod. So there's a lot of moving pieces that has GFE in his current position.
Though we're actually even on crystal counts. Oh, right, and as best we know, it's a required double dip of Eastern. Though we don't know where the other bow might be, and we probably never will.
And we know that green pendant was not anything today. Unfortunately, just a piece of heart.
So anticlimactic. I mean, that prediction was being held for what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, we thought that was going to be a quick turn-in after the desert clear.
Well, since the runners are retracing each other's footsteps, we definitely have time for another prediction. We're 2 items away from Go mode on GFE's side, so let's do the standard. Is it going to be Samaria or Ether next?
And the question becomes, are we expecting this? GFE is obviously going to finish out Skull Woods, probably do a ped check just in case, and then head towards Village of Outcasts. I'm guessing we see Smith Chain from GFE. Ice Palace follows soon behind, probably.
So Buane's going to Swamp, clearly. I mean, that's about the only thing he can do, and then he'll get his myths, which will open up a whole lot.
It's a good play, for sure. Yes, chat noticing that GFE did a cape dash through that bumper on the backside.
So GFE pulls ahead on the crystal count.
GFE will be a little bit slowed down just because of all these checks that we know don't give anything, and as straightforward as Thieves Town is, it's going to be quite a bit longer to get through, but...
And then he may well do the full Smith chain. We have not seen the actual Smith item or hammer pegs or purple chest.
Yeah, and GFE also skipped K45, Stumpy, and the Dig game, so a lot of options there.
Yeah, that's a lot of checks. I expect him to do all of those after Thieves. Though he hasn't been to Vu at all, so he's going to do the basic, like, C-shaped house and brewery and those checks, too.
And did GFE actually get both items out of Skull Woods? I think he skipped the second item, which we know is nothing, but I believe he, after doing ped, he just fluted back to the Kakariko and just went straight into Village of Outcasts. Buane giving us a bit more of a vanilla back of Swamp Palace.
So I wonder if Buane will go back for one item on left side swamp.
Given that those mitts showed up at the front, I gotta wonder, you know, does Buane feel like he has to kind of make some skips here? You know, does he anticipate that GFE got the flippers early and made a quick swamp play? Just missing the 0 cycle there on Argus, but really nice kill. And there's that execution you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I mean, and GFE is a really good runner, but you can see the difference between the two runners' Argus fights. I was just thinking, one thing we haven't really talked about is Dark Death Mountain. The runners are probably in no hurry to go up there without Samaria, but what if Samaria's up there?
Yeah, and for GFE, heading up there, you know, if Samari's up there, that's a full clear.
Okay, so Buane's gonna get his bow now.
And yes, Buane did skip left side swamp, so that's going to be a little bit of a time save.
Still could be a while before he does pod.
Given how surprised we were when GFE did pod, I definitely agree we might not see it for a little bit on Buane's side.
I mean, the mitts opened up so much. Who's thinking pod at this point?
Exactly.
And indeed, Buane is not using that portal. He's just come to 5 to do Eastern.
Yeah, so for Buane, this looks like either Ice or Dark Death Mountain's going to be the next play after Eastern. Meanwhile, GFE coming up on his blind fight.
So we're soon going to be tied up again at 4 crystals apiece, and the same 4 crystals. As I said before, I expect GFE to do Smith Chain now, but where do you go if you're Buane after this? Oh, Buane also having trouble with that Stalfos room.
Oh yeah, and Buane has the rest of Eastern to do. I completely forgot. After getting the flippers, Buane just left.
Which was not a bad play, but, you know, he's not in go mode, so sooner or later he has to full clear Eastern.
And GFE's going back for that shield. Luckily, I think the shield was what? The first chest on the right side?
Yeah.
Or not.
Okay. Chat's talking about GFE and Buane facing each other before. I'm sure they faced each other at some point, but I just double-checked they have not faced each other head-to-head in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't remember all the seeding, but I didn't think they were lined up against each other in groups, so.
Yeah, because P-Train and GFE came out of the same group, and only 2 people can come out of one group, so Buane had to have been in a different group. So down goes Armos Knights for Buane. And yeah, I really wonder, will he do Dark Death Mountain?
You know, you were talking about Buane's overall NMG skills. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go ice because, you know, he's fully equipped for a very traditional Ice Palace clear.
Looks like you're right, because yes, Icebreaker is not allowed in NMG, so he definitely remembers the bomb jump. GFE might be... Oh, here GFE is going for Dark Death Mountain. Makes a liar out of me, no interest in Smith Chain, despite all the checks on it.
Yeah, I think given GFE taking the time up to King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge kind of disincentivized him from doing the Smith Chain, K45, and Dig Game, and even Stumpy at this point. So we're going to find out very quickly kind of where this progression might be.
Yeah, GFE's gonna open Turtle Rock Portal. If it's not Ether, he'll open Turtle Rock so he doesn't have to do it later, though obviously without Samaria we can't go in.
Yeah, and I think the big takeaway here is, you know, for GFE, if Turtle Rock is openable and the Cane of Samaria is up here, he can go clear Turtle Rock. For Buane, you know, without Ice Rod, I think there's definitely a little less incentive to risk it. And there we go, Ether Medallion for Turtle Rock.
Of course, the game gave us two completely worthless medallions, and won't give us the one we need.
And I just have to point this out. Buane over there doing a very traditional strategy. You don't see it, or if you know your NMG, that's a really, really cool strategy. Using the spikes to set up that dash.
Yeah, it's certainly not one I've seen very often.
And probably even less so in Rando these days, just because of the prevalence of Icebreaker.
Okay, GFE's got plenty of hearts, full magic meter. He's gonna do Spike Cave now.
Yeah, and Dark Death Mountain, though, having nothing so far, so maybe we'll get something off of Spike Cave, but nothing yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's not that often that Dark Death Mountain comes up so empty.
So it is either Ice Palace or Smith Chain. And actually, I think, as we said, is there still an item on Helmasaur King?
I want to say yes, but I can't swear to it. I wasn't counting completely. Oh, chat's saying the compass was not found, so it's on Helma King.
Okay, so...
And both runners have checked Ped. They know that's dead. Now GFE's going for Smith Chain.
And given we really haven't seen anything out of Ice Palace, this is looking like it might be the play.
Though he'll also be repeating 3 checks that Buane already did that we know don't produce anything, but we will be seeing 3 new checks here.
To those in chat, Ice Rod was in Palace of Darkness in our Rupee basement.
Yeah, so even once Buane does go to pod, he's gonna spend a bit there before he gets it.
We are getting the very rare post-hour dig game from GFE. Can't remember the last time I've usually seen that happen.
We haven't really seen much of anything in ice so far. Oh, Bugnet. There we go. Gamma would be proud.
The But here we're getting those new checks now from GFE, starting with Hammer Pegs and our Froggy turn-in.
Wow, poke strats on Cold Stare, and that's just incredible again. Oh, and there's our Samaria, so no one's doing Icebreaker today.
And yeah, and really at this point, I think GFE's got to be close to the Ether Medallion. And there's Ether. So we are in no mode at 1 hour 4 minutes. And realistically, I think GFE's next play after finishing the purple chest is to do ice.
Yeah, I don't see where else he could go. Like, he can't go into Turtle Rock without the cane, and I don't see why he would take Caneless Mire over Caneless Ice.
So I think the big question here is going to be, you know, does Buane head into pod before doing Smith Chain?
Yeah, because he's now 2 items from go mode, and one of those items locks a whole lot more than the other.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if Buane does get that Ether Medallion first, he will clearly go do Mire, full clear, as well as probably head into TR without Ice Rod. This could be really dangerous for him. Once again, Ice Rod is in Pendant Pod, in the back of Pendant Pod at that, so...
And sorry to those of you who bet on Ether in that last prediction. You can yell at GFE that if you had just been a minute faster, you would have gotten a whole lot of points.
Yeah, and with us being on SpeedGaming 3 tonight, I know probably our viewers have a lot of points to spend on these kinds of things.
So yeah, GFE is now basically having the timer ticking on Buane. We know GFE will full clear Ice Palace, and at the end he will be in go mode, so it's a matter of how quickly does Buane get his 2 needed items.
Yeah, and really, you know, both of our runners have been extra thorough tonight, really hitting up every spot necessary. So, but GFE's very early pod play is looking like it could turn into the difference here.
Yeah, I mean, based on numbers, Smith Chain only gives Buane 3 items and Pod gives him 5. So if you're doing purely a numbers play, you do Pod first, but Smith Chain's also a lot faster than Pod.
And here's going to be that decider, really. Where does Buane flute to?
And it's the Pod play, so he's still in this.
Yeah, we've got definitely a race still here. So both of our runners will be able to go mode Mire and Turtle Rock.
Though Mire routing can still make a difference depending on where that big key is.
Yeah, Mire and GT routing definitely leaves this race very difficult to call. I think GFE will have a slight advantage in terms of the time, but not enough to make this over.
Yeah, I would expect him to be getting his go mode Samaria around when Buane gets his ice rod. Actually, this is where, oh, no, GFE's probably gonna go back upstairs, yeah. I was gonna say, this would work out really well if he just goes for Cold Stare now, but no.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you definitely full clear this dungeon.
Gotta get your bug net. Which means he has to circle back around to get the big chest after he gets the big key.
But I will commend both of our runners tonight. Both getting really nice Ice Palace bomb jumps. You know, a lot of runners might say, "Oh, this is a strategy that I don't use as much anymore." But you know, both of them definitely have kept sharp with it, and both able to easily pull it off tonight.
And of course, please give both of these runners a follow.
And yeah, after Buane does pod, the only thing he has left is Smith Chain. So, you know, they are converging in a sense to last locations for items.
Oh, I forgot that, of course, we didn't do Icebreaker. We couldn't do Icebreaker, so GFE hadn't done the right side yet. GFE, you need to pull the tongue.
Wait. We pull a tongue in this dungeon? I thought we didn't do that anymore.
See how Icebreaker makes everyone's minds turn to mush?
Yep.
Okay, now back over to Freezor Room, back over to the big chest. Buane is finally making it to the back of Pod. GFE isn't trusting anything. He's getting that big chest the vanilla way.
I mean, I've definitely had moments where I have not pulled off a hook through the block, so... There is the ice rod for Buane. Just needs to head over to Smith Chain and turn in Jeremiah for the Ether Medallion. While GFE dropping into the Cold Stare fight, he is about to get that Cane of Samaria and be in go mode.
Oh, and GFE got hit by an ice block, which threw off his cadence a bit, but he still gets Cold Stare down in relatively short order. So at 1:11:36, GFE is in go mode. So now it's gonna come down to routing Meyer for the big key, routing GT Basement for the big key, and the fact that Buane is Buane when it comes to execution.
Yeah, and Buane is heading straight for Village of Outcasts and the Smith Chain, so he's not going to be too far behind really at this point. This is going to be a close race.
I'm guessing no burp toss.
I mean, it's set up for one, but at the same time, you know what kind of race you're in. You gotta just say, nope, I can't. No memes tonight. And Buane hitting hammer pegs first, so gonna still have to go south for the Smith. So you said that was a 111.36?
Yeah. And Buane will have a slight advantage because he'll already be in the light world. He won't have to mirror before he flutes.
Yeah, so it'll be about a 2-minute difference.
Yeah, right about, maybe very slightly less. When you take into account that he's mirroring now rather than after he hits go mode.
If he's looking for that Godmire, unfortunately our spike chest did not have the big key. And neither did our bridge chest, so it is not a Godmire.
And so there's Buane's go mode, 113.44.
So yeah, even with the mirror and the crystal cutscene, I'd say that's probably about a 2-minute difference.
Yeah, so now, since we don't have the Godmire, how do you route? Personally, I'd probably do the compass chest, but skip the vanilla big key chest for the time being unless I get a small key. Not a small key, skipping it.
You know, it's really interesting. Ever since I had heard that, I had a bunch of seeds that were all small key there, so I knew that was big key. And almost since then, I almost never see that key there anymore.
But now it's a tough call of map chest versus cutscene, and GFE's going for map chest.
And I don't disagree with this call. If you can avoid that cutscene for vanilla big key, you'll feel happy about that.
And it's the right call. Yeah, if we may plug a related tournament here, Buane has been running the NMG tournament, which is actually the first NMG tournament in about 3 years, and he and Error are now in the finals of it.
Yeah, that tournament definitely, I think that one started just a little bit before the main tourney did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it started pretty soon after League ended. And that had 72 competitors and was double elimination, so they've gotten through a ton of matches there to get down to the final two.
Yeah, for anybody curious, No Major Glitches is the vanilla Link to the Past. None of this randomization.
And for the record, Buane is number 6 on the NMG leaderboard, since Josh discussing that. But only by a few seconds, like I think he's 4 seconds behind number 5, sorry.
And we're getting identical routing of Meyer from Buane, so besides the execution, no extra time to really make up or lose here.
So Crystal grab at 1:16:27, so we'll see what time Buane grabs his Crystal, and then we'll really have a good sense of what the margin is. Now it's time for that final climb up the mountain. GFE's going to try a Waffle House drive-through here.
Now, I know GFE had opened the portal on top of Turtle Rock. Still has an open Turtle Rock. Did. So Buane will have to do the hammer pegs. That's negligible amounts of time, but just a little bit of a little extra piece there.
So what did I say? 1:16:27 was when GFE grabbed the crystal?
I think so.
Okay, so that's just over a minute and a half difference now. But as you said, add a couple of seconds for Buane having to hammer the pegs.
Yeah, and while we said there was about 2 minutes difference for go mode, Buane did have a little bit more convenient of a switch right then because GFE had to mirror, whereas Blaine was already in Light World, so also saved a few seconds there easily.
And GFE had to grab the crystal too.
Right. So in terms of the time shift from Meyer, it's actually less than that 30-second difference we make it sound like.
But that torch room that GFE just did is a perfect example of the sort of place where Buane is liable to gain a couple of seconds, because GFE went around the corner before hookshotting out of there, and what the heck is he doing now? But Buane being Buane is likely to be able to just immediately turn and hookshot before having to go around the corner.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Big Key here in Turtle Rock, so either it's going to be, oh no. Unfortunately, Chomp's bullying GFE here a bit. And we've got a vanilla Big Key in Turtle Rock.
So this is not going to be a fast clear for either runner.
GFE playing it a little bit safe here, pulling out that powder that we got in the spike roller room.
GFE is clearly on nerves right now.
Yeah, and I think
blame
both
him.
runners. Yeah, I think both runners kind of have to be feeling it a bit. Both pretty much last location their go mode, so you definitely have that going through your mind of like, you know, did my opponent maybe find things a little bit better?
And I was dead wrong about Buane being able to hookshot off that block early, but he did remember to cancel his cape before going through the doorway.
I mean, the honest question is, can you believe this is only the second round of the brackets? And we're getting such hype matchups already.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, the other matchup we've gotten is Fear Agent versus Zelga Desan. I mean, that's pretty hype. I know P-Train just advanced and will be facing 1-Up. We just have so many hype matchups even this early. Ashter versus Jet should be a good one.
Yeah, as we start eliminating to contenders, you know, it's tough. When we got down to 64, we said this is a very, very competitive field, a very skilled field. Like, there is just that much depth in this community, and it is only going to get more difficult, and every little play you make is just going to make that much of a difference. GFE will be able to skip Laser Bridge at this point. The last two keys were in the big chest and the crystal roller room there, so no Laser Bridge today.
Oh, and with Wall Kicks in chat, just got a shout out that Wall Kicks versus Shady Force is another really hype matchup coming in the round of 32.
Yeah, I mean, you look at where competition has gone in the last year plus at this point. There's just a lot of options for people to run and race competitively. You know, a lot of runners kind of credit ladder is a big piece of that. So there's just constant opportunity for people to test and learn and get better.
Yeah, and one nice thing about ladder is it tends to sync the modes to upcoming events. So, like, when the main tournament was announced as standard hard item pool, that became a ladder mode. When SpeedGaming Live was announced as open boots, that became a ladder mode. Hey, we did get that fire shield after all, and GFE grabbed the crystal at 123.50.
And Buane is not far behind, has made up a good amount of time in this dungeon. And I see a lot of numbers in chat.
Too.
What's going on?
Oh, yeah, right. I don't think I'll even be able to run a prediction here. This is going to be too fast. But if you want to throw a number into chat of how many checks you think GFE will need to do in GT Basement before he finds that big key, go for it.
Yeah, we will be going off of GFE's numbers here, as he will be the first into GT. Buane will not be far behind at this point, executing an excellent Trinex kill.
Wow.
Textbook quick kill for phase 2 there. And there's the crystal grab at... Or sorry, it's going to be about a minute. Yeah, just under a minute difference as Buane gets that crystal at 124.48. So,
okay. Guess routing isn't going to be a thing. Still need to get a small key before we go upstairs. Hey, GFE could gain some time if Buane goes to Hope Room.
And a lot of runners will swear by doing Hope Room first. So this could, you know, depending on Buane's routing here, could give GFE a little bit more of a cushion. So let's see Buane's choice here.
Very nice mimic kill there.
Good mimics too as well.
Oh, and Buane's doing the same thing, so it's pure execution from here on out.
And this is the kind of race you want to... This is what you want to see a race come down to.
Aga 2 will be seeded, Ganon will be seeded, so they're going to see the same patterns on both.
Yeah, on that whole question of execution, you know, as GFE is really quite good at this game, and, you know, but Buane's experience in especially the GT climb, you know, top execution runners for the gauntlet, especially as a time where he could really just start taking down seconds.
And since we didn't get the big key as a prediction, let's get one on how well behaved Aga 2 will be, because in a really bad Aga 2 pattern, not even the best runners can do less than 4 cycles.
So GFE heading up into Wizroad 1 at 127 flat. How far behind will Buane be?
Buane had a little bit more trouble in that first gauntlet room than I would have expected. But yeah, this is awesome just to see two really good runners doing an execution battle up GT.
Now GFE will need to get a kill on the mini Helma here for that last small key. Does remember to do so though. And Buane 1:27.55, so it's about a 55-second difference between our runners now.
So he only made up 3 seconds since the Crystal Grab and TR.
Yeah, as you pointed out, that gauntlet was, really good, but not a whole lot of time made up against GFE.
GFE does not take a Moldorm fall, so Buane will need to do the same to keep pace.
GFE heading into Aga. It's going to be at 1:28.41.
Oh, and Buane runs a bit too low on magic there, and had to take a little bit of extra time to use the lamp to light that last torch. And yeah, we are not getting a well-behaved Aga today with those blue balls. Oh, but there's a triple. Nice.
Yeah, still a really strong 3-cycle there from GFE. You'll hear, hey, 2 cycles great, but getting to pull off a 3-cycle is still about the average you aim for.
Yeah, and given how poorly behaved Aga was on the 2nd cycle, getting that nice lineup for the triple was really key.
And Buane going for that Voldorm's last possession for a piece of heart.
Well, if it had been a 4th piece of heart, he could have gotten a full health refill.
And here we go, Ganon on GFE's side. And even with as much as we've cleared, like in many ways, we've almost full cleared this seed. The fact that we're still under an hour and a half right now is amazing. And that's a 1-1 from GFE.
Yeah, so Buane's gonna need to match all this. He matched the 3 Aga cycles. But yeah, he's gonna need to get the 1-on-1 to be in it still.
And there we go, GFE into phase 4.
Of course, I can't resist mentioning the Ganon fall GFE took in the league that did cost him a match. We certainly hope that this match doesn't come down to a Ganon fall, but I gotta rib him.
GFE setting up for those triples. Nicely done. A little early on that torch or that fire rod shot there, so it's only going to be a double here.
And Buane does get the 1-on-1 and is on to phase 3, but GFE is well along in phase 4 now.
Yeah, probably only a few spins left, I believe, at this point. And there we go. That is the final spin on Ganon. All that's left for GFE is to cross that 1x3 bridge. Get those GGs in chat, though, for GFE.
So he will finish with an official race time of 1:31.33, and with Buane here in phase 4, we're gonna let him finish on stream before we get hopefully both runners in to chat with us. Get your GGs in for Buane as he takes down the pig 2. Dashing up, don't fall.
We've all had it happen once, right?
I know you like to position at the top, but there he goes, 1:32.22, so the final time difference officially is 49 seconds. GGs to both of our runners.
Yeah, that's a really close race. Less than a minute. You can't ask for much more out of one of these.
Okay, we got GFE at least in the waiting room. Oh, he says he's waiting for Buane. Hopefully Buane will join us momentarily. Oh, well, we got GFE in here. GG.
Oh, GG's, despite your best attempts to ruin it for me, Drosy.
I couldn't resist. Hey, and now we got Buane in the waiting room too, so hopefully he will join us. GG Buane, that was a heck of a race.
Hey, GG's.
Oh, GGGFE. What's up, guys?
First of all, I just want to give a shout out to the last rat in the skate for giving me a bomb.
Yeah, that was the first divergence. There was so much divergence between you guys, and then you just got your go modes like relatively close together and converged on Meyer and TR at the end. But yeah, Buane, I assume you had noticed that was the bombs deep into the pack thing and just couldn't get enough drops.
I didn't get a drop from a rat until the back. Otherwise, might have killed a couple more in the interim rooms. And then I don't think I got one for like the first 5 rat kills. I did get a few at the end. I think I ended on the arrows, but there weren't enough rats left for me to get to the bomb regardless. So, you know, of course it has to be something good back there that you really want. But, you know, you can't complain about random chance when you play rando, so good for that.
Honestly,
go ahead.
Honestly, in terms of what it meant early race, Buane, you getting the boots that much earlier kind of helped mitigate the fact that you had gotten the flute a little bit later.
For sure, that was definitely nice. I usually don't mind separating Sahasrahla from Eastern Palace, especially when you're sort of looking for some early game direction. So it was nice getting the boots there, and you know, something like this never comes down to one thing 10 minutes into the game or anything like that. So the you know, me not getting a bomb drop was not the difference or anything like that. There were a lot of I'm sure differences in this one, but you know, I enjoyed the seat. I feel pretty good about most everything that was done. It feels worse when like you lose by a minute and you made a really stupid decision that you immediately regretted, and it was like a waste of 2.5 minutes, somewhere in the middle of your run, and you're just thinking about it the whole time. Oh, I hope this isn't the difference. And that wasn't anything like that in this one. I feel like I would do everything I did again, and it was a very comfy loadout for a lot of it. So, early boots, lots of swords for once. Thank goodness for swords. So, there are a lot worse things that can happen when you play rando.
Along that line, Drosy, I requested no sword and escape, and as little NMG as possible, and then you get a fighter sword and blue boomerang right off the bat.
And then the lamp in Zelda's cell as if it were vanilla enough.
That was the other thing. Yeah. Oh, but no, I agree with Blaine. Even though I got that early flute, it honestly kept me away from the boots for longer, because with flute I chose to go ahead and check Pendant Desert, and then go on and do South Shore checks with the flute as well. So it kind of kept me away from the boots for a little while.
And then you did Death Mountain before you got the boots.
Yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that. I basically last located that area except for, I guess Zora was in Logic at that time.
But then that flipped things, because since you were then last locating that area, you went into Eastern and got the flippers much earlier, which enabled you to get the mitts much earlier.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now why we were talking and you mentioned the late mitts. But yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I got to clear a whole lot of the Dark World very much in one circular trip, and there wasn't anything there, so I had to go get the flippers anyway. Felt amazing.
Blaine was mentioning earlier, you like when you lose by a minute and you do have something you immediately regret, feels pretty bad. If this had been turned around the other way, I did have one thing that I was going to feel real bad about. When I failed that bomb jump in Ice Palace.
Oh yeah,
I really wanted to just say, forget it. I'm just rushing cold, and I don't get Kane, I'll come back in. But I was like, no, we're gonna do the slow full clear, and then cold drops Kane, and I'm like, wow, I just wasted 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, and I had totally forgotten at that point that, of course, without Icebreaker, you still had to do the entire right side.
Yeah, I mean, routing Ice Palace that way, especially missing that bomb jump, it is incredibly slow and feels awful. That's one reason everybody loves Icebreaker so much. You don't run into those situations anymore, but you do when Kane's on Cold Stare.
But
Yeah,
hey, that was your
familiar.
go mode at least. That must have felt good when you got it.
Yeah, I mean, at least I avoided Pyramid Catfish. If I'd checked that, then this would have been turned around the other way.
So we should probably start wrapping just because the daily race is actually gonna come in here in about 10 minutes. Any final thoughts from our runners?
No, just GG's to Buane. I mean, coming to this, definitely felt an underdog. You probably could tell by some of the plays I was making early, but feels good to take a win off such a skilled runner. Who knows? Maybe I can take the win overall, but I fully expect he's going to tie this up on Saturday, and we'll just see how that third match goes. So we'll see.
Oh yeah,
it is-
you guys are scheduled here for same time Saturday night.
Yeah, it should be a good one. GG's to GFE. At this point, it's repeating myself to say this again and again, but everybody who's in this tournament, everybody who qualified, is just they're already the cream of the crop. Anybody who's still left in the tournament at this point, top 64, top 32, whatever, anybody can take a win, can take a series of anybody else. Like, that's just how
Yeah.
good everybody is these days. The person who wins this tournament, if it's me, it's because I got luckier than everybody else, or it's because I went the longest without getting unlucky, right? Like, that's gonna be the person who wins this. So it's just fun. You have fun on the ride. You have fun playing really good players, and you just try to enjoy yourself. If you can't enjoy yourself even when the results don't go your way, you're not gonna have a good time playing rando. So looking forward to the Saturday night match, and hopefully we get a fun third match too, to be a nice little tiebreaker.
Well, good luck to you both on that.
And thanks you guys,
And
comms, and everybody else behind the scenes. Obviously, goes without saying, everybody made the restream happen. Always a lot of work. Should be a fun one to watch back.
Yep, and I'll second that, and thanks to our tracker, our Terrell, as well. Always appreciate the one hiding in the shadows doing all the hard work.
And just to give a preview for tomorrow, we've got several pretty hype matches coming up, all on the main SpeedGaming channel. Starting at 12:10 Eastern, we have Lin 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 versus Magnet Hands. 3:10 Eastern, Hayfield Bay versus Salty Fry. 5:40, Goomba versus Dante, which is actually going to be the third second round series to kick off after these guys you just saw kicking off the second series of that round. And then for a bit of a nightcap at 8:10, we have Willard J. Bradley versus Julo Ninja, and that's a game 3, so win or go home. But it should be a great day tomorrow.
Yeah, there is a fifth match going on tomorrow, but it does not appear to have a restream scheduled. But 4 excellent matches.
And we'll even be with you for a couple of those. Yeah, should be a lot of fun in any case. And yeah, once again, thanks to our runners for putting on an amazing show for us tonight. Do give them both a follow. Thanks again to the amazing Artaro for tracking. Radical Sniper, always a pleasure to do comms with you.
It is. It has been a lot of fun to do comms and to be able to do this with you tonight.
And stick around for the daily race starting in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I can tell you it is a casual mode seed, and I did get to kind of peek at our runners tonight. The restream runners will be Etium, Days Cloud, Immortal Koi, and Jossbleed, and so definitely worth checking out and staying here on Speed Gaming 3 to watch that race.
So stick around and we'll see you in a few.